Papoose is the wealthiest man that I've been with. And that's like no faking. I haven't paid for a flight, a hotel, a fucking purse, nothing. And I don't know how long. Food. He take care of everything.
At first, it sounded random, like one of those exaggerated internet claims that flare up overnight and disappear by morning. But this one didn't fade. It multiplied. Within hours, timelines were flooded with speculation linking Remy Ma, Papoose, and Claressa Shields to what people were calling a financial plot. No one had official paperwork. No one had confirmed proof. Yet the speed at which the narrative spread made it feel real enough for millions of people scrolling from their phones. Remy and Papoose had spent years building something that felt untouchable. Their relationship survived prison sentences, industry gossip, career pauses, and relentless public scrutiny. People didn't just admire them, they believed in them. Their story was packaged as loyalty in its purest form: ride or die through thick and thin. So when their names were suddenly placed next to a large dollar amount in the word plot, the shock wasn't just about money. It was about the potential betrayal of an image carefully constructed over time. The idea that something so solid could even be questioned made fans uncomfortable. And when fans feel uncomfortable, they react loudly. Then Claressa Shields entered, the center of the conversation. A champion boxer known for her directness and discipline, not someone associated with vague posts or attention-seeking drama. Her presence alone gave the rumors weight because she has built her reputation on confrontation inside the ring, not chaos outside of it. When her name became attached to alleged financial tension, people leaned in closer. Was this a business disagreement that had spilled into public view? A misunderstanding inflated by social media? Or something deeper that no one fully understood yet? The uncertainty made it addictive. At first, Remy remained quiet. That silence felt strategic to some and suspicious to others. On social media, silence is never neutral. If you don't speak, people assume you're calculating. If you speak too quickly, they assume you're panicking. In those crucial early hours, the internet didn't wait. Old interviews resurfaced. Past collaborations were re-examined. Fans dissected body language from videos recorded years ago as if hidden truths could be decoded from facial expressions. Alone, the human brain loves patterns even when patterns don't exist. Suddenly, every minor interaction from the past was treated like a clue. The number itself became symbolic. $900,000. It was big enough to shock but specific enough to feel believable. That specificity gave the rumor oxygen. Commentators began asking where the figure came from. Who introduced it first? Was it tied to a business deal, an investment, or a misunderstanding about contracts? Instead of waiting for clarity, people filled in the blanks with imagination. That's how internet storms grow, not from facts, but from the spaces between them. Then Claressa spoke. Calm, direct, unapologetic. She didn't sound afraid or hesitant. She addressed the noise in a grounded way, and that shifted the tone instantly. Supporters argued she had nothing to gain from speaking unless she felt strongly about her side of the story. They praised her confidence and said she appeared unshaken. On the other side, loyal fans of Remy and Papoose questioned the timing. Why was this playing out publicly instead of privately? Why now? And just like that, the internet split in half. What made the situation heavier wasn't just the rumor itself, but the emotional undertone beneath it. Even without verified wrongdoing, the suggestion alone threatened reputations built over decades. Remy isn't just an artist, she represents resilience. Papoose isn't just a rapper, he symbolizes devotion. Claressa isn't just a fighter, she embodies strength and self-made. Success, when narratives collide like this, it feels larger than gossip. It feels like identity is on trial. As days passed, reactions intensified instead of fading. Reaction channels dissected every new post. If someone unfollowed someone, it became evidence. If a caption mentioned trust or loyalty, it was interpreted as subtle shade. Screenshots circulated faster than context. In the middle of it all, no one could clearly say what was confirmed and what was assumption. That didn't stop opinions from hardening. Once people choose a side online, they defend it like a team jersey. Eventually, Remy addressed the situation. In her own way, her tone wasn't explosive or defensive. It felt measured, like someone fully aware that every word would be replayed, clipped, and analyzed. But measured responses can feel unsatisfying to an audience hungry for spectacle. Some argued she should have ignored everything entirely. Others said she should have provided more details. The truth is, no response ever feels perfect when millions are waiting to critique it. Papoose suddenly found himself under a microscope. Every expression was analyzed, every silence dissected, every past decision dragged back into the light. Supporters quickly stepped in to remind the public who he'd been for years. They referenced the time he stood firmly beside Remy when the spotlight wasn't flattering and the situation wasn't glamorous. They spoke about commitment, sacrifice, and the way he held things down when it would have been easier to walk away. To them, that history wasn't nostalgia, it was proof of character. Consistency over time, they argued, mattered more than sudden online speculation. Critics, however, weren't willing to let history close the case. They insisted that loyalty in one chapter doesn't automatically answer questions in another. People grow, circumstances shift, pressure changes dynamics. Just because someone once represented devotion doesn't mean they're beyond scrutiny in a new situation. For them, this wasn't about erasing the past. It was about separating it from the present. Each moment, they argued, deserves to stand on its own. That difference in perspective kept the conversation spinning. The debate became almost philosophical. Loyalty versus suspicion, image versus allegation, silence versus statement. Each side interpreted the same behavior in entirely different ways. When Papoose stayed quiet, some saw maturity, refusal to fuel chaos. Others saw avoidance, interpreting his silence as strategic rather than sincere. The truth, whatever it may be, seemed less important than how it was framed. At a certain point, it stopped being about money. It became about perception. About how quickly admiration can shift into doubt. About how reputations built over years can feel fragile when tested in real time. Once perception becomes the battlefield, truth often gets buried beneath emotion. People stop debating facts and start defending the version of events that aligns with how they feel. In today's culture, perception carries consequences. It affects brand deals, partnerships, and fan loyalty long before facts are confirmed. Even rumors without proof can leave lasting impressions. Audiences may forget what was verified, but they rarely forget how a story made them feel, and this one left many unsettled. The deeper layer of this situation lies in how quickly social media transforms speculation into spectacle. One person shares a thought, another repeats it with confidence. A third adds emotion. By the time it reaches thousands of screens, it feels undeniable. But feelings are not evidence. Reactions are. Contagious, and outrage spreads faster than clarification. Some fans began asking whether this was simply a business misunderstanding exaggerated for clicks. Others wondered if tensions had been quietly building long before the public noticed. Without documentation, every theory felt plausible. That uncertainty kept the conversation alive longer than usual. Unresolved stories are addictive. As the noise gradually softened, something subtle lingered. Not proof, not confirmation. Just a shift in perception. A small crack in the illusion of certainty. And that crack is often the most lasting part of any scandal. Even when nothing is proven, doubt can attach itself to a name like glue. In the end, there was no dramatic courtroom reveal, no official charges, no public contracts displayed. Just voices, reactions, and a cycle of speculation that eventually gave way to the next trending topic. But the emotional toll of being publicly questioned doesn't vanish as quickly as a hashtag. This episode revealed something bigger about internet culture. We are drawn to conflict. We are fascinated by the possibility of betrayal. We forget that behind every trending topic are real people navigating real stress in real time. It's easy to debate from the outside. It's harder to live inside the headline. Whether the $900,000 rumor was a misunderstanding, an exaggeration, or something more complex than anyone realizes, one truth became undeniable: perception moves faster than proof. In a world where image is currency, even whispers can feel expensive. The story may fade from timelines, but its lesson remains. Reputations are fragile. silence can be misinterpreted. Speaking up can be criticized. Once the internet decides to watch you closely, every move feels amplified. Perhaps the biggest takeaway isn't about money at all. Maybe it's about how quickly loyalty can be questioned and how easily speculation can solidify into narrative. Because once a narrative forms, correcting it becomes nearly impossible. That's the reality of fame in the digital era. You don't just manage your career, you manage perception. You manage silence, you manage reaction. And sometimes, even when you do everything right, you still find yourself trending for reasons you never anticipated. So as the noise settles and new headlines replace old ones, one question lingers quietly in the background. Not whether the rumor was true or false, but how quickly we were willing to believe it. And maybe that says more about us than it does about them.